Thank you all for being here. I hope you're all staying well. It should be a quick meeting tonight, so you can all go home and get some rest. I will officially call to open.
You can definitely tell I did them myself.
And we will start off
No, they
with
look
public
professional.
comment. We have no guest speakers for today planned, but is there any member of the public who would like to address the Senate at this time? Seeing none, I will move into our reports. Are there any questions on any of the reports? All right, we'll move into voting items. First up, we have approval of the minutes from October 23rd. Any questions or points of discussion or corrections for the minutes? Okay, I'm going to move to approve the minutes by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the minutes are approved by unanimous consent. Next up, we have the confirmation of Shahad to the position of Senate Engagement Coordinator. First off, I want to thank everyone who applied for this position. It was an incredibly tough choice to make, and we were so impressed with all the interviews. Ultimately, Shahad stood out to us as having some excellent ideas for the position, as well as being a great personality fit for the role in our Senate leadership team. Before I take questions and discussions, I'll give Shahad the floor for a second if you want to introduce yourself.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Shahad, for those of you who haven't met me. I'm really excited to be taking this on. Kyle and Nina are the sweetest people in the world. They've been so energetic, and I'm so excited to hopefully join the team with them. And I'm really excited to get to serve all of you in this role. If you want to hear any ideas that I have or have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out or schedule a meeting with me. I'm really excited to get to interact with you all, and please feel free to reach out at any time.
Thanks, Shahad. Are there any questions or points of discussion for Shahad, for me, for this nomination? Seeing Jabril.
I want to say congratulations.
With that, I will move to confirm Shahad by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Congratulations. Next up, we have an act concerning the consideration of unauthorized purchases. Nick, the floor is yours. Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick for the minutes. So I'm speaking on behalf of John Gardy, who could not be here for today. So just bear with me when I go over stuff we went over. So can you scroll down a little bit to the highlight section? So pretty much during the internal affairs, we've gone over a potential problem that could occur, but it's very rare that can possibly show up. It has to do with retroactive purchases. So from what Kyle's told us during internal is that a lot of us who are here, who have been here, is that it's precedent for the Student Senate to be the ones to approve all retroactive purchases as listed above. So quite literally, all this is doing is that we're solidifying it into the bylaws. So just in case anything happens in the future, it's right here, and the Student Senate is the one that can approve these.
Thanks, Nick. Are there any questions on this legislation? Angela?
Hey, Sydney, quick question for you. Do you think that this particular bylaw amendment would negatively affect USG as a whole, that the fact that the board can't review these unauthorized purchases?
No, I don't think so, just because I feel like you all should be involved in these decisions. I'm sure you're all caring about what we're doing with our Tier 2 money, so if we have any unauthorized purchases, I think it's important you all share your opinions.
All right, thank you.
I will also add, just for clarification for everyone, unauthorized purchases are not standard procedure and in an ideal world do not happen. And this is also how they've been operating for a number of years, so this would not change existing practice. I'll recognize Josh now.
Sydney, for those of us in the room that aren't involved heavily in purchasing, can you explain what is an unauthorized purchase and how we get to that point?
So unauthorized purchase is when somebody, let's say, so a tier 2 group is having an event on like this Saturday. If they didn't follow policy or get their request in for the funding on time, we didn't approve it or vote on the money in time, the event passes, but they still need the money. If we decide to pay for it after the fact, that is considered unauthorized. Because we didn't approve or vote on the money in advance. So this doesn't happen super often, but when it does, I think you all should have an opinion and a say in it, so yeah.
Are there any other questions or points of discussion? All right, we will move into a hand vote on this. All those in favor of passing, please raise your hands now. All right, all those opposed? Abstentions? That passes 24-0-3. Kyle, Avery, and Nick Kafka abstaining. Congratulations. So speaking of unauthorized purchases, next up we have a motion to approve the retroactive disbursement of $2,700 for funding request 0485 for Western Team Yukon from the funding staff Tier 2 Registered Student Organization funding line item.
Yeah, so about this being a rare occurrence. So Western team needed travel reimbursement. I believe they were going to a competition. Brian had told them they were within the correct timelines to get their funding request. Turns out they weren't, so they didn't submit an exemption request for the timeline. So, context, we require 6 weeks in advance, generically speaking, for submitting any funding request, 5 weeks for travel requests. It turns out they were within 5 weeks prior to the travel. So they missed the deadline, did not submit an exemption because Brian told them that they were fine. And then it got denied, for the deadline policy violation. So this was kind of a mess up or lack of communication on our end. After discussing with the team, we think this should go through since this was kind of a USG mistake, not a team mistake.
Thank you. Before I open it up, Lane, is there anything from a judiciary perspective that you want to add, or is that? Okay.
The judiciary granted the appeal because we do think that it was kind of like a mess on, like, not necessarily their part. But yeah, we think that the appeal should be granted.
Awesome, thank you. Are there any questions? Angela?
Sydney, hey girl. So you know our little 3-strike thing, our little silly 3-strike thing. Can you clarify whether or not this is going to be a strike or not?
So, no is the short answer. This was our mistake. I think professional staff, so we have our set of professional staff who work with us on all purchasing. They kind of determined that a unauthorized purchase strike against us should be internal purchases, not necessarily tier 2 purchases. mistakes can happen with tier 2 purchasing quite often, just because there are so many requests. So short answer is no, it's not technically a strike.
So my thing is like, you know, we have a lot to do in this organization. We don't have that in writing. That was a passing conversation. How confident are you that this is not going to be a strike?
Very confident. I spoke to Krista about this. We're fine.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, I will also say I did speak with Krista about this, and she assured me that there will be no organizational consequences to USG approving this. Are there any other questions or points of discussion related to this motion? All right, we'll move into another hands vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Abstentions? That is approved 26-024. That's Kyle, Josh, Rory, and Avery. All right, our next voting item is an act concerning the disbursement of funds for Tier 2 funding appeals by the judiciary. I will turn it back over to Nick.
Nick from minutes again. So, Kyle, want to scroll down for me really quick so I can just hold this? Thank you. So for this one, as another potential issue that came up during internal affairs as well, it has to do with what the judiciary has to do when it comes to disbursement of funds that come through appeals. They're not retroactive. So this is another piece of legislation that like Kyle told me is it's already precedent, so we're just trying to formalize it into the bylaws. And I know that there's a question that Sydney brought up to me to make sure that if they have anything to do with the retroactive purchases, but no, that's our job for just making sure that any type of appeals is strictly the judiciary's responsibility.
Awesome, thanks, Nick. Are there any questions?
So I spoke to pro staff about what the difference between retroactive and unauthorized is, and I'm just going to motion to amend to add the words "or unauthorized" to the end of that new clause.
Nick, is that taken as friendly?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, the amendment is taken as friendly, so we will not formally vote on it, and we'll add that clause. Are there any other questions or points of discussion? Seeing none, I will move to pass this legislation by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? The legislation is approved. Congratulations. Okay, next up, we have a motion to approve the equipment and inventory control for fiscal year 25.
Hey everybody. So this is our fiscal year 25 equipment and inventory control form. You've probably seen this a number of times already this year. Basically, what this form tells you is this is all the inventory, meaning the things we own across the organization and Tier 2 organizations. So you'll see this spreadsheet includes all of our inventory up to $1,000. You'll see is quite a large figure that we have. And then inventory control, so all inventory we own over $1,000, also quite a large figure. We passed this for the first time back in April. Since then, there have been changes made, so every time we make a change to the form or the spreadsheet, we have to pass the spreadsheet again. So this would include things like if we want to throw out an item, we have to pass the spreadsheet again. If we purchase new items for Tier 2 groups, we usually do that in bulk at the end of the semester, at the end of the year, to pass the form again to say we have all these new items, we're getting rid of things, things are damaged, things like that. Anytime we want to make changes, essentially, we have to pass the form again. So the changes this time we are, we're getting rid of, or we would like to get rid of a fridge that is an internal purchase. So this is not a tier 2 groups fridge. Let me find it. It's listed in this row here. So this would go through a process that we call surplus. Surplus is universities, essentially their process for getting rid of things. So anytime any university department wants to get rid of an item because it's damaged, broken, lost, or you just want to get rid of it, it has to go through the surplus process. That's done through facilities operations department. We basically give them our items, they auction them off to other university departments. By auction, I don't mean we sell them. Other university departments can just inherit the items. And then if nobody wants it at that point, then the university throws it out. So we're technically not allowed to throw anything away ourselves. That is considered inventory. So this fridge is considered inventory, we can't just throw it away. The reason we're trying to get rid of it is because there was a large amount of mold on the inside of the freezer. So we're trying to get rid of the fridge because it just does not smell nice at all. So there's that as well. Some other changes you'll see. I don't know this real quickly. At the very bottom of this spreadsheet, I basically we used to have separate inventory spreadsheets for internal inventory, so things USG owns, and tier 2 funding related inventory. I basically just combined everything, so it's all in one spreadsheet now. All of USG's inventory is listed out here. So that's a new addition to our spreadsheet, as well as our one surplus that we're looking to do. So what are your questions?
I don't think after the cleaning process that fridge works anymore. So it's only the not working fridge. The university department is welcome to the fridge. Also, I believe that this action also adds the practice inventory into the same spreadsheet as well. I think that was also separate. That's what I'm going to.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we will move into a hand vote. All those in favor? All right, all those opposed? Abstentions? All right, that passes 25-0 to 0. All right, our last voting item tonight is a motion to disperse $200 from the office of the, a motion to disperse $200 for the In the Time of the Butterflies panel event from the Office of the Chief Diversity Officer's outreach events and collaborations line item. Tay could not be here tonight, but sent a brief message. Hello, everyone. Sorry I couldn't make it tonight. I'm glad you are all here in the community, though. For this $200, we wanted to get passed to provide some refreshments from Dunkin', like hot cocoa and donuts for the panel event, just some finger foods for the night. So this is an event that her office has planned, and this motion is to authorize the spend of $200 for some refreshments for students that attend the event. Are there any questions? Yep.
How many students will be at the event? Do you know?
I do not have that information.
Okay.
Probably up to 30.
I'm just thinking, I don't know if this is relevant. I got Dunkin' for tabling last week for $40. It was 50 munchkins and a box of Joe. And it lasted me from 2 to 6. And that was about like 40 people, 30 people.
They might not use a full $200, but we'll have to see.
No, I'm just curious. Sorry.
Josh?
So the way that this motion is phrased is done so that if we end up getting food from other sources that are not Dunkin', there's elbow room to do that. So just to be clear that there might be other food purchases as well.
Thanks, Josh. Are there any other questions or points of discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move into a hand vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? All abstaining? All right, that passes 24 to 2, Ahmad and Josh, to 3, Kyle, Kenneth, and Shabril. All right, next up is discussion. We do not have any discussion items on the agenda. Is there anything for the good of the whole that anyone would like to discuss at this time? Yes?
Me again. So I've been officially appointed to our Student Activity Service Fee Advisory Committee, which is very exciting. We're starting the processes here. That's a committee that reviews all of the student activity fees for all the Tier 3 groups, as well as some others. And through this process, we have to put together our own SASFAC packet, SASFAC is the committee, SASFAC packet, explaining the importance of our organization, and potentially, if we decide a fee increase is what may be necessary, why we want a fee increase. So we still need to talk to Maureen about this, but I do need to put together an ad hoc committee to talk about, the importance of our organization, how we want to present ourselves to the committee and to the public at large, so that if we do end up asking for a fee increase, what angle do we take to market ourselves in a way that's showing our importance and that we should get a fee increase. So if anybody is interested in joining an ad hoc, please reach out to me, you, both of us.
Any questions or comments on that before we move on, Josh?
This is our question for Kyle. Could we entertain a motion to create the committee right now? That way Sydney can start the work of the committee and start seating it?
I do not know that the Senate has the authority to do that. Our Constitution vests the authority to create an ad hoc with the president. So, no, that motion will not be entertained. Any other questions or points of discussion? All right, we'll move into announcements. So first up, Nina.
Hey people, I'm so excited to say that the Senate class is officially graded. Yay! Woo! Yes, honestly, I will admit Kyle did most of the setting up. I had the last meeting with the person in the poli-sci department yesterday, just like clarifying everything. So it's still going to be 1 credit. It's graded this time, so you get a letter grade for it, which is awesome. The workload is going to be the same. Some things might change a little bit in the syllabus, but TBD. Oh yeah, okay. It's a poli-sci class now. If you're interested in registering, do this. Text me privately. I will send you a permission number. Yes, take a picture.
Do you want to go over how the class is structured quick?
Yeah. Okay, so 30% of your grade, right now, this is how the class stands. 30% of your grade is participation. Then you have these 4 assignments called action reports. So they're basically just like 1-page double-spaced summaries of meetings. That's like Senate, caucus, committee, anything. Then you have programming. So you have to go to 2 programming events. That could be tabling, that could be other versions of events or something for USG. And then the last thing is a passion project. So your final project for the class is writing a piece of legislation and then passing it through the Senate and following up on it with admin. So that's kind of how it's structured. It's very low-key. It's supposed to be what you're already doing as a senator. You're just getting compensated for it. Yeah. Questions? Yes, you have a mic.
Nick,
Nick from Myth. Is this going to be a one credit course or?
Yes, and it's still gonna be asynchronous. Mhm. Yeah, anyone else?
Yes, Ina?
Do you have to be a poli-science student?
The question is, do you have to be a poli-sci student?
No, you do not. You can be any major. You just have to let me know because I have to send you a permission number because it's not completely open. But yeah, that's it. No, you do not have to be a poli-sci major.
Any other questions or comments or anything? All right.
Text me if you want to join.
Next up, our Title IX coordinator, Marion, asked me to advertise the Violence Against Women panel event. That's going to be next Tuesday, the 12th, at 6:30. It'll be in Kurlock, which is upstairs on the 4th floor in room 438. Any questions about that, reach out to her on Slack, Marion Vargas, or at title9@usg.uconn.edu. Next up is our RSO outreach. We talked about this last week at August, but we have a sign-up list and a guidebook for sending out emails to RSOs, registered student organizations, just reaching out, introducing yourself and offering yourself as someone who they can come to with issues. Great opportunity to connect with some constituents. This QR code will take you to the sign-up sheet. If anyone has questions about that, you can reach out to me or Dorian. Next up, we have an announcement from April. Do you want
So guys, okay, so I interned for the governor and this really cute thing he gave us. I ordered it out. Primarily probably gonna go to Nick, but it's not like, hold on. So it's pretty much just a congratulations, but so on behalf of the state of Connecticut, I, Ned Lamont, Governor, take great pleasure in recognizing UConn undergrad student government as you're committed with the start of student voting on campus from the state of Connecticut. This recognition is a testament to your organization's outstanding service and commitment to the University of Connecticut. I commend your efforts to increase student voting on campus, as voting is an important part in civil engagement. Your organization's passion, enthusiasm, and leadership within the university's community is outstanding, and your achievements are laudable. I congratulate your organization on this achievement from the state of Connecticut, and I wish you continued success. Therefore, I, Ned Lamont, Governor of the state of Connecticut, do hereby convey honor and recognition upon UConn undergrad student government in the state of Connecticut.
Yes, huge congratulations to everyone who helped out with that. And Nick, we will now recognize Nick for his acceptance speech.
Alright, I will say, I am so proud of all of you who showed up to help table. We got over, let's see, let me do the math. No, in total, we got almost 4,000 students to vote here in town, and way more than that outside of the district. We got 1,800 students to vote early. We registered over 1,500 students before the election, an additional another over 1,000 on election day. So we did a lot of work this year. I'm so proud of all of you guys. Would not have been possible if it weren't for the external committee. You guys showed up. I'm proud of you, and it's going to be a great year. Thank you.
All right, that is the end of our agenda. 7:01, I think that's the record. Everyone, take care of yourselves. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm around if anyone needs to talk about anything. And I will call close at 7:01. Have a good day, everyone.
If you could all put your nameplates back in the gray bin in the corner, that would be great. Thank you. Also, if you text me about the class in the last 5 minutes, I'll get back to you in the next